ओम सच्चिदानंद परब्रह्मा परमात्मा पुरुषोत्तमा श्री भगवती समेत श्री भगवते नमः. May the one who is all, who is in all, in whom is all, protect us and make us successful, happy, peaceful and prosperous. Dear devotees, I praying to the Rishabharuda Parabrahmam is very happy to give a lecture today on the predictions for the Vedic New Year Parabhava. The Vedic New Year Parabhava is getting born on 14th of April 2026 at 8:35 a.m. on a Tuesday. Every new year brings along with that a new set of vibrations on account of the planetary positions at that precise moment. That placement has a direct and significant impact on each one of us based on our natal horoscope. That is the horoscope that we have on the basis of our time of birth at our birth period. Now, this new year is beginning or born with Rishabha Lagna. Jupiter is in Mithuna and Ketu is in Simha, and Moon and Rahu are in Kumbha. Mars, Saturn and Mercury are in Meena, and Sun and Venus are in Mesha. This is the placement of planets at the time of the beginning of the new year. On the basis of this, we will have to assess the impact of each of the Rasis for this year. During this year, the Jupiter is making a transit from Midhuna to Kadaka, and it also is on an Atisara movement, goes to Simha for a while and returns back to Kadaka. And during the year, Rahu and Ketu are transiting. Rahu moves on to Capricorn, Makara, and Ketu to Kataka or Cancer. This also has significant impact for the outcome of the results during the year. Now we will take up Rasi by Rasi. For Mesha Rasi, the year is born in placement of Sun at the exaltation of the Rasi itself, and with the second Lord Venus in the Rasi itself. It is a bit good positioning because the fifth Lord and second Lord are combined and one of them is exalted. So therefore, it will bring in lot of Purva Punya, lot of luck, lot of recognition, and also will give a lot of comforts in money and also in family relationship. The Jupiter is in the third house. That is a very good positioning because third house is the house of efforts, and Jupiter there, ninth Lord, will help a lot in the efforts to be undertaken. Ketu is in the fifth house. That is a bit of a strain because it will act as an impediment on getting recognition, but that is for a while, for half a year only, because then it moves on to the fourth house. Then you have Rahu in the 10th house, which is a very good positioning in terms of profession and job. And also you have the fourth Lord Chandra in the 10th house. That is also a good positioning. So all these things are giving very good positive energies. But the 12th house is very strong. That is where some negative energies are creeping in, because we have Saturn, Mercury and Mars. This 12th house being so strong can create certain losses can create certain uncomfortable positions and the loss of peace of mind. And this Saturn and Mars combination is also not good. But they are more than offset by the other planets. And when the Jupiter moves on to Kataka in the month of June, then he will be aspecting this Saturn. Therefore, the negative Saturn influence will also come down. Therefore, overall, this year will be 75% good for Mesha Rasi. Then we will come to Rishabha Rasi. Rishabha Rasi is starting on a very good platform because the 11th house is very strong. You have Saturn in the 11th house. That is one of the excellent positions to have. It brings in a lot of money, success and happiness. And also we have 3 planets in the 11th house, including the 2nd and 5th lord, Mercury. Therefore, the year starts on a very good footing. In addition, we have the 11th lord, Jupiter itself, on the 2nd house of money and family. That is also a very good beginning. And you have a very strong 10th house with Moon and Rahu. That is also creating a good environment for job and office purposes. The only negative is the Lagna Lord is in the 12th house and the exalted Sun is in the 12th house. But this is more than offset by the strong 11th house. And during the year, Jupiter is moving into the 3rd house and then to 4th house for a while and then coming back to the 3rd house and getting exalted. So Jupiter exaltation will also help a lot, because Jupiter, though is an enemy of this house lord of Rishabha, he is going to aspect the important houses of the 7th house, 9th house and 11th house. Therefore, he brings in a lot of good energies to the very important houses in your horoscope. Then, during the year, the Rahu Ketu transit, Rahu moves on to the 9th house. That is okay. Ketu moves on to the 3rd house. That is also okay. It brings in again good results. Then we will come to Gemini. For Gemini, the year starts with Jupiter in the Lagna itself. That is an excellent beginning. And we have 9th house strong with Rahu and Chandra, the 2nd lord, and have a very strong 10th house and a strong 11th house. These things are bringing in a lot of good energy to the Gemini Rasi. Ketu in the 3rd house also brings in good energy. And during the year, the Jupiter is transiting to the 2nd house, 7th lord to the 2nd house, 10th lord to the 2nd house, that also exaltation. That is also bringing in lot of good energy. And Rahu is moving to the 8th house, Ketu is moving to the 2nd house. This is a bit of negative energy. One has to be very careful. The Mesha Rasi people should worship Saturn and Dharma Shastra. The Rishabha Rasi people should worship Lord Shiva, and Midhuna Rasi people should worship Durga and Ganesha. Then we will come to Kataka Rasi, Cancer. Cancer is starting with a good 9th house and 10th house. Exalted Sun in the 10th house. That is very good for job positioning, etc. But it is starting with a strong 8th house with the Ketu also in the 2nd house. That is a bit of a obstacle causing situation. And Jupiter is also in the 12th house. That is also a bit of loss of bhagya. But Jupiter is very soon moving into the Lagna and getting exalted, and that period onwards the life will be totally different. And when he moves in there, then he is aspecting the Saturn himself, and thereafter no looking back. And during the year he moves on to the second house, which is house of money. Therefore, after a couple of months after the beginning of this new year, life will be great. However, even in the initial part, since 9th and 10th houses are very strong, you will have a good luck as well as good job openings and income. And the Rahu Ketu are moving into Lagna and 7th house axis. That is the time when you have to be careful about, because there can be issues relating to relationships. Then when we come to Simha Rasi, Simha Rasi is starting with a good thing of the Lagna Lord exalted in the 9th house, and with Venus also there, and Jupiter in the 11th house of Labha. These are all bringing in positive energies. But the negative energy is Rahu Ketu is in the Lagna and 7th house, creating relationship issues. And the 8th house is very strong, causing certain difficulties. So you have to be careful about it. But once Venus moves into the 11th house, 10th house and 11th house, there will be improvement. And in addition, when Jupiter moves into Karkataka, though it is in the 12th house, since he is exalted and since he is going to be looking at your 4th house, 6th house and 8th house, the difficulties whatever you are facing will be brought under control, because Jupiter's aspect will bring in lot of benefit to you. Then Kanya Rasi, it starts on a very positive note with a very strong 7th house, including the Lagna Lord there. But you have a strong 6th and 8th house and also a Kandaka Sani. You have to be therefore careful about it. But it is getting offset to a large extent with Jupiter in the 10th house. During the year, Jupiter is moving into the 11th house. That is a very positive development. And Rahu Ketu are moving into 5th and 11th houses. That is also a positive development. Then for Tula Rasi, it's a good beginning, because the 5th house is strong, the 7th house is very strong, and Saturn is in the 6th house. That will be anti-enemies. But 6th house being strong in a way can be causing some concerns. But Mars in the 6th house also will help you to be very courageous. And more importantly, Jupiter is in the 9th house. So he brings in a lot of positive energy. During the year, Jupiter moves to 10th house. That's a very positive development. And Rahu Ketu moves on to the 4th and 10th house. That is also a positive development. Then coming to Vrishchika Rasi, you have a well-placed 5th house in the beginning of the year, and also a strong 4th house. That is a good thing. And the Jupiter in the beginning, though he is in the 8th house, but the 2nd and 5th Lord moves to the 9th house of exaltation during the year, and he is going to aspect your Lagna itself, so bringing in lot of luck. And from there he will be aspecting the 3rd house and the 5th house, his own house, including the Saturn. Therefore life will be taking a very good turn. And Rahu Ketu will be moving to the 3rd and 11th house. That's a very good placement. So this year it will be bringing in a lot of positive energy. So you will also be 75% positive. Then when we come to Dhanur Lagna, you start with the Lagna Lord aspecting the Lagna itself. So 7th house aspect, very good. And you have a strong 4th house and 5th house. 9th Lord is exalted in the 5th house. That is excellent positioning. And the 3rd house Rahu is also good. 9th house Ketu. But the small issue is you are having the 4th house Sunny can create certain lack of peace of mind. During the year, Jupiter is moving into exalted Karkataka, and from there he will aspect Saturn and he will give you relief. And Saturn will, Jupiter will also aspect your 2nd house of money, 4th house where Saturn is seated, and also your 12th house. So it will give relief in respect of the problematic areas. And Rahu Ketu are moving into your 2nd and 8th house. That is an area of bit of a concern. So during the year you will have to worship Durga and Ganapati. And when we come to Mahara Rasi, year is starting on a good note because you have come out of Sadai Sati and you have exalted Sun in the 4th house, good thing. You have Saturn in the 3rd house, that is a great positioning. Strong Mars also there. And during the year, Jupiter is going to move into the 7th house, exalted house, and going to aspect you. And only negative is during the year Rahu Ketu will move into 1st house and 7th house axis. At that time you have to be a bit careful. Therefore, you also need to worship Durga and Ganapati. And for Kumbha Lagna people, this year starts with Rahu Ketu in the Lagna and Rasi and the 7th house, bit of a concern. But 5th house is occupied by 2nd Lord Jupiter aspecting the Lagna, that is a very good positioning. And 3rd house is with the 7th Lord Sun exalted and 9th Lord Venus. So that is a very good beginning. And overall this year will be beginning very well. And during the year Jupiter will be transiting to 6th house and 7th house. When he goes into the 7th house, he will be aspecting your Rasi itself, bringing in lot of luck and prosperity. And Rahu Ketu will be moving to 6th and 12th houses, bringing in some mixed results. And you will have to worship Saturn and Dharmasastra. For Meena Rasi people, this year starts with Saturn, Mars and Mercury, debilitated Mercury in the Lagna itself, not a good beginning. And the 6th Lord and 8th Lord in the 2nd house, that is also not a good beginning. And a strong 12th house in the form of Rahu and Moon, that is also not a good beginning. But all of them are offset by an excellent placement of Jupiter. Jupiter is aspecting the 8th house, 10th house and 12th house. All the problematic houses are aspected by the Jupiter, the Lagna Lord, and he clears the problems whatever I have listed. And during the year he moves on to the 5th house and getting exalted, Lagna Lord getting exalted, and he will be aspecting the 9th house, 11th house and the Lagna itself. So your life will be really getting into a great prosperity zone during the year. And the movement of Rahu Ketu will bring in lot of positive energy because Rahu will go to the 11th house, Ketu will come to the 5th house. So this year will be, though in the beginning it will be somewhat testing, during the year everything will turn around and your overall score will be more than 80% positive as the year passes by. During this year, as I told in the beginning, Mesha Rasi people should worship Lord Shani and Dharmasastha. Rishabha Rasi people should worship Lord Shiva. Midhuna Rasi people should worship Lord Subramanya. Kataka Rasi people should worship Lord Parvati. Simha Rasi people should worship Lord Shanishwara and Dharmasastha. Kanya Rasi people should worship Mahalakshmi, and Tula Rasi people should worship Subramanya and Dharmasastha, and Vrishchiga Rasi people should worship Lord Shiva and Dakshinamurti, and Tula Rasi, Dhanur Rasi people should worship Lord Shanishwara and Dharmasastha, and Kumbha Rasi people should worship Ganapati and Durga, and Kumbha Rasi people should worship similarly Dharmasastha, Subramanya and Ganesha, and Meena Rasi people should worship Dharmasastha, Subramanya and Shanishwara. And as far as possible, all the Rasi people should help poor and downtrodden, beggars, poor children, poor elderly women, poor elderly men, and be helpful to all the animals and birds, particularly cows, dogs, crows, pigeons, and all kinds of animals and insects. We should try to plant and grow and support some plant of your choice, whichever is possible. It can be tulasi, it can be bilva, or it can be any plant or any tree. Try to support and grow. In essence, try to earn the goodwill of as many beings as possible. Be support to all the people. And once in a week, go to any temple nearby and recite any mantra that is appealing to you. And if you have Ishtadevada, please worship that Ishtadevada every day. In addition to the Devadas I have mentioned, in addition to these things, we have to look at the individual horoscope for the positioning of the other planets to arrive at the right conclusion, and also to look at the Dasa Bhukti to give the precise results. This is based on the placement of moon in your horoscope, which will be 50% yielding the correct prediction. But for more accurate predictions, one has to really look at the complete horoscope. Then only it will be possible to precisely predict and give the remedy. So I hope I have been able to do some meaningful effort and service to you all and give you some direction. But for full consultation, you may contact us. We will be more than happy to guide you. Om Rishabharuda Parabrahmane Namaha.